Season 2 is available now.
Like many people in this world, I had never seen an Olympic medal before.
Bringing you more remarkable stories of Olympic and Paralympic athletes and their incredible journeys to the podium.
This is my dream and it came true that day.
Find out more at the end of this podcast.
Hello, and thank you for downloading the Witness History podcast from the BBC World Service with me, Josephine McDermott. Today I'm bringing you the story of how the first openly gay person ran for public office in the United States. I've been speaking to retired entertainer Mike Michel about his friend Jose Sarria.
Hello, hello everybody. I'm glad to see you are here. To sing and dance and entertain you and bring
This is Jose Sarria. He wants to be elected, but he's not a politician.
on that, of course, you can rely. So hello, hello everybody. We all welcome you, the Black Cat welcomes you. We are glad that you're here.
He's a drag queen. It's 1961. John F. Kennedy is president.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Elvis Presley is in the charts.
Oh.
It's 6 years before the Summer of Love, when hippies will converge on the city with flowers in their hair. And Jose Sarria is about to make history.
Homosexuals were second-class citizens. Now, I'm not a second-class citizen, never have been. And to prove this, I said, everybody has the right, which is true. Everybody has the right to run for office. And they said, you can't run for office, you're gay. They ain't gonna elect you. And I said, watch me.
He's taking a stand against police harassment. Gay people could be arrested for dressing as the opposite sex, and bars where gay people drank were routinely raided. Jose Sarria died in 2013. His friend and fellow drag performer Mike Michel remembers a time when there were definite limits on freedom.
It was pretty strict. There was a lot you couldn't do. Gay people were starting to be proud of who they were. They started to fight back verbally. They had a newspaper. They had organizations. The first rebellion, I would say, started with the Black Cat. Black Cat was like a bohemian bar with a gay clientele.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you on behalf of the working staff of the Black Cat. And of course, I always like to welcome the leather jacket girls, the queens that work so hard during the week. And then on Friday, they shed the Ivy League look and put on those gay leather jackets and those chains, and they run up and down Market Street on their Vespas. I think it's just the end.
He packed them in. He had a following on Sunday for the operas. You couldn't even get in there.
Oh, it's so gay.
Jose served in the US Army during the Second World War as a staff sergeant in Germany. After that, he enrolled in college and wanted to become a teacher, but he was arrested for solicitation, offering sex for money. He said later the police had wanted to make an example of somebody, and he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. His arrest meant he wouldn't be able to get a job as a teacher. Instead, he became a waiter at the Black Cat, and then started rewriting famous operas including Carmen, which he performed in drag. He would pioneer political theatre.
And that's where I first bumped into Jose. We were very, very good friends. I joined him on certain Sundays, and he wrote me in, and we had parts of the opera together. And as far as costumes, everything was just exaggerated. If it was a hat, it was just an enormous hat. There was a death scene, and I came out, if my memory served me, something like a mummy, all in gauze. It was very, 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 very funny. He changed the words to God Save the Queen, the English song. God Save the Nelly Queens.
God save us, Nelly Queens. God save us, Nelly Queens. God save us, Queen and lesbians too.
He got better known. That's when he got really he fought very hard. He was very, very well known fighting for gay rights.
Jose was recorded by documentary maker Joseph Castell, and he explained to him his motivation to stand for office.
The only way that you can change the laws is to vote. I told City Hall that. There's 10,000 voting queens in the city of San Francisco, and I'll prove it.
He decided to run for a seat on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. It decides the laws at city and county level.
I campaigned openly as a gay entertainer from the Black Cat. Of course, everybody knew what the Black Cat was. First thing I had to do was to get 25 signatures.
I remember signing some petitions for him to get on the ballot. I did go to the Mission one time, Mission Street, Mission area. I spoke on a microphone to a crowd, lauding him and saying, what a good candidate he was. He took that whole election very, very seriously. In one of my speeches, I said, a vote for Jose is a vote for all of us.
Jose explained how he went about capturing a whole new target audience, the gay vote.
We campaigned. We sent out people to get registry books filled up. God only knows where they went. They went to the big department stores. They went to the parks at 2 o'clock in the morning. I gave talks in schools, and I campaigned in all the gay bars. My saying in those days, which are even true today, is...
He would shout out,
united we stand.
We stick together or they catch us.
One by one.
One by one.
Jose gave his documentary maker a precious recording he had of his election speech in 1961.
If elected, I propose that a commission headed by experienced attorneys be formed to carefully re-examine and reform the San Francisco Police Code and other municipal codes as may be necessary.
He explained how things unfolded on election night.
Well, the Black Cat was all excited, and we waiting for the returns. In the beginning, I got good returns, and then I just kind of sloughed off.
He didn't get elected, but the mere fact he stood had changed US politics forever.
From that time, the political situation in San Francisco changed. Politicals who then ran for public office realized that there was a very strong gay voting bloc. In later years, we elected a mayor, we elected a sheriff because of a unity that we had.
Jose's activism paved the way for later campaigns by openly gay candidates, such as Harvey Milk, who was elected to the same Board of Supervisors in the same city, San Francisco, 16 years later.
Jose was right out there on the front line. He should be remembered as a very strong advocate for gay rights. I would say gays had every freedom in the world at the end. We were allowed to have businesses. We were allowed to go out where we wanted.
God save us, Nelly Queen. God save us, Nelly Queen.
Jose Sarria spent his life improving representation for gay people, including co-founding the first gay business association in the US and going on to set up a global fundraising network of drag queens, which he called the Imperial Court. Mike Michelle was speaking to me, Josephine McDermott, for that edition of the Witness History podcast.
God save us, Queen.
I remember crossing the finishing line and my heart going, I think I've just won.
That is a significant moment when you first win a medal at Olympic Games.
On the Podium, the podcast where Olympic and Paralympic athletes share their remarkable personal journeys from their struggles.
When I went from 80% to 2% vision, my life was just a wreck.
It's not just an injury, it's having an injury 20 days before your dream.
How can I use this pain and this energy?
You just kind of gotta push through it and make the best of it.
to their victories.
We won 7 medals in Olympics and 19 medals in Paralympics. This will change the Indian sport.
On the Podium from the BBC World Service.
We're ready to go. We're ready to have fun. We're ready to party.
Search for On the Podium wherever you found this podcast.